My name is Jared King, and this is my final presentation for remote sensing titled Human Development in Denver. My objectives for this project was to find out how much land had been developed into human consumption land between the years of 2001 and 2021 in Jefferson County, Colorado. And to do this, I'll look at vegetation between the two time periods. I'll look at urban cover as in neighborhoods and shopping centers and that type of thing, those differences between 2001 and 2021. My study site, like I said, lies in Jefferson County. It lies between Denver and the Rocky Mountains. I chose this because there's contrasting geography between the two areas. The mountains receive more rainfall and have more forest and vegetation compared to the flatter and drier climate of Denver. I also chose this because of the 800,000 or so population increase between 2001 and 2021, which tends to be pretty high when it comes to cities over that time frame. And finally, I chose this region because of my natural sciences interest. The Rocky Mountain National Park region and that whole area is near and dear to my heart, and it's pristine land would be ashamed to get developed into just like another shopping mall and neighborhoods. My hypothesis is that if we compare the two satellite images of the same location in Jefferson County over a 20-year time span, we would see an increase in human development. We would see a decrease in undisturbed land. How I did this was I downloaded an image from 2001 and an image from 2021 that covered the same area of Jefferson County. I cleaned up the data by combining the individual bands that I downloaded and to make it one image file, resized the data to make it actually cover the same exact location. And then I did an NDVI value comparison right off the bat just to see the differences in vegetation. And then followed that with a classification of the two images. So these are the two Landsat images I downloaded in false color, 5325 being the near IR band that took place of the red. As you can see on the left image in 2001, there's a ton of snowfall that kind of skewed the NDVI value because of its high NIR reflective, the high NIR reflectance that comes from snow. So the NDVI values didn't really show me too much. But when looking at the two just images without classification, you can see a couple neighborhoods on this western side here were made in 2021 or at some point between the two that weren't there in 2001. Right off the bat, you can tell the difference. So the classification I went with was maximum likelihood because it ended up showing more detail than the other methods. The ROI training I did included roads, neighborhoods, bare ground, mountains, water bodies, stuff like that. And as you can see in the 2001 classification, it tended to be a little bit more detailed, and I think it did a little bit of a better job. These are the results from the classification. Both of them resulted in 100% coverage and little to no error. But you can see here in 2001, there were some issues when distinguishing the bare ground from the water bodies because of the snowfall. And in 2021, there's issues splitting up the mountain regions with the bare ground and neighborhoods. And if you go back to the images, you can kind of tell like this whole thing is a lot of it is different shades of brown and tan. And I think the classification process just had a difficult time distinguishing those three between the three. So yeah, these are the results then of the post classification. So I use this to deny or support my hypothesis. As you can see, the bare ground decreased from 21% here to 17. And so that supports my hypothesis. However, the neighborhoods decreased from 25% to 17 over that 20-year span, which doesn't support it. And there also doesn't make too much sense. And that could have been due to that kind of error I had with classifying and the mismatch between ground truth and region of interest classifications. Discussion. So like I said, there's supposedly no error in the classification, but we know that there was some mismatches between bare ground and mountainous and stuff like that in that 2021 image, and a couple in the 2001 because of the snowfall. So because of that, we can't statistically with confidence say that there has been a drastic increase in development in that area, even though we did see a couple neighborhoods being built. Just looking at the false color and true color images, we can't statistically say with confidence, backed up by data, that there was significant development. So we have to reject the hypothesis. Like I said, it's because of that mismatch of classification, I'm pretty sure. But another couple things that could have happened is that because a lot of that Rocky Mountain area is natural forest and protected land, a lot of the development, I'm sure, is happening on the eastern side of Denver. And so in future study, maybe making the study site a little larger and making the picture more small scale can include that western side where you can maybe see some more development. Application of this process, conservationists frequently use remote sensing and satellite imagery and stuff like that to accurately allocate their time and money to areas that are experiencing more pressure from human development, rather than wasting time and money on areas that are actually doing a better job. So this is happens all the time in the conservationist workforce, and processes like this can be, very helpful for people in that line of study. This is my list of references, and thank you for watching.